Hi, my name is John Howard, and today I'd like to talk to you about the snoring protocol. About a year ago or so, my wife and I made a video to show you how to do the snoring protocol, and we placed it on the web, and I hope some of you have used it. A few weeks ago was probably one of the first times I've actually looked at the video, and we didn't do such a good job. So today I'd like to go over it a little bit more in detail and to show you how to do it. I also look a lot better today, and I brought my A game. And to show you all the supplies, where you can get the supplies, and just do a basic step-by-step on how to do the protocol. It's a great protocol, and I think I might have stumbled onto something by doing this protocol that I'll talk about at a later date. And just to give you a little hint, I think you can actually treat depression this way too. So first, let me just talk about all the supplies you're going to need. The first thing you're going to need is a manual of some sort. The one I use is Nader Solomon's Atlas, and just want to show you what it is. It's the second edition. His Atlas comes in two sizes. There's the pocket size, which I carry quite a lot, and he has a larger size, like a desk reference, which is also good, which I got a lot of use out of. Next thing you're going to need is electrical device stimulator. I used a Net 2000, and I'll explain to you why. Here it is, Net 2000. It's a great piece of equipment for this protocol and any other type of protocols involving the ear for electrical stimulation. Net 2000. Let me just take a look at that real quick. Okay. Next, Spydex needles. These needles come in three different sizes. They come in 3mm length, 4mm length, and 6mm. I used a 4mm, or sometimes I refer to them as medium size. Next thing you're going to need is a pair of tweezers to hold these little needles with. I don't know if you've ever held the Spydex needles, but it's always good to have a pair of tweezers. One of the things that you might want to use for tweezers is a different color tweezers, such as a black. They come in black or maroon. And the reason why is when you see how small these needles are, and my eyes are starting to go bad, there's a different color and you can see the needle. And I'll show that in a second. The other thing you need is just a mechanical probe, ear probe. Pair of scissors, just some scissors, some steri strips, and some glue called Mastisol. And you can find this also at your local supply store that sells medical supplies. Okay. Let me start off by saying the first thing you're going to do is you're going to locate where the points are for the snoring protocol. So the first thing I want to talk about is the points. And here they are. And this is just to make it easier for me to hold a sheet of paper. This is actually right from Nader Solomon's Atlas. And as you can see, the points we're going to use are in this area over here. I don't know if you can see my finger. It is right where in the lobe, in this area up here is, I hope I'm pointing to the right spot. It's called the lobular helix notch. Right up in here. It's where the earlobe and the helix kind of form, right in here. And the points I use are the mouth, the tongue, the bronchial muscle, the chin, and the hypoglossal muscle. Those are the points we're looking for. Right up in this area here. Okay. One of the reasons, and the only reason why I use the Net 2000 is because of this. These are no-J's frequencies. As you can see, they start from 2.5 and they double each time. They go up to 160 hertz. And in the area where you're going to be treating the snoring protocol, it's in the 80 hertz to 40 hertz. Most devices that you will find on the market will deliver upwards of 20 hertz. And unfortunately, that is not going to touch this area here. You can try with the 20 hertz or the 15 hertz, But what I like to do is I like to use the Net 2000. The reason why that is the Net 2000 actually has all these frequencies. It can go up to 160 hertz. And the great thing about it is I don't need to dial it in. It automatically picks it up from the skin and knows exactly where it's at and what frequencies to adjust to. So it's user friendly, I should say. Okay, so now you got your patient and you're ready to start the protocol. So today we're going to use, as the patient, we're going to use an ear model. Just a plain old ear model. It's like this. It's a little easier for you to see if I kind of do it on the ear versus a patient. Okay, so what I like to do first is to search right in the lobular helix notch. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the Net 2000 in the areas where those points correspond to, such as so. Okay, and I'm going to find on both ears the active spots, and I'm going to treat them with the Net 2000. It's for 30 seconds. Okay. You can also use the back of the ear too. Sometimes the points are in the front, and sometimes you'll also find some points in the back. Another thing what you want to do too is when you're looking at the ear, look for any erythemas. That will clue you into what's going on. And later on when I show you how to talk about how to treat depression, that becomes really important. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find all the active points and you're going to treat them with the Net 2000 or the device you're using. And usually it's a few points, anywhere from 1 to 4. Okay, so you're going to treat all the points on one ear first. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to use your needles and your tweezers. So to do this, I'm actually going to use my good tweezers because they seem to work better for me. I like these. But you can use the black ones too. And as you can see, you can't even see that. I'm having a hard time seeing that needle right on the tweezers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it in the ear where I either scanned and found the active spot or I saw some erythema. I'm going to place it in, and let me just do this and tell you how I did it. So I'll just show you. What I'm doing is I'm going at an angle. I would say my angle is usually between 15 and 30 degrees. Kind of like a good angle. I don't want to go straight in, I want to go down. Okay? So once I get that point in, do that. Next thing you're going to do is, let's say for instance that's the only point that I found on the ear. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use some Steri-Strips. Again, with the Steri-Strips, you can find these at any of your local medical supply store. I get these from Cole Medical Supplies in Sykesville, Maryland. Unfortunately, Cole Medical Supplies does not have a website. If you'd like, I will supply the phone number. You can get these also online anywhere. I know they come in boxes of 10, 15, or 50. And if done right, a box of 50 will treat about 3,000 patients, literally. They're not that expensive. They come in one color. They come in skin color. So if you want some funky fluorescent colors, you're not going to get them. These sizes are 1/4 inch wide by 3 inches long, or 6 millimeters by 75 millimeters. Okay. So then I take my mechanical probe, my mechanical ear probe, and the reason why I'm using this is, as you can see at the tip, is a little piece of Steri-Strip that I pre-cut. And the reason why I'm using the mechanical probe is because this piece of tape is so small that if I try to hold it with my fingers, it's really not going to work that well. I've done this several times where all it does is it's not up my fingers. So then I'm going to take this piece of Steri-Strip and place it right on the needle, like so. It's basically going to cover the head of the needle. And at this point, it's probably going to be almost blended in to the skin of the ear. Okay. And what I like to do for those, for the Steri-Strips, is take a pair of scissors and just cut just big enough size where you can hold it with the tweezers and just enough where it fits right over the head of the needle. Okay. So for the protocol, we've done all the points. We put all the needles in and we put the steri strips on all the points, front, back, both ears, whatever the number you have is. And then what I like to do, which is a really good idea, is use the Mastisol body adhesive glue here. And again, this comes in multiple sizes. You're looking at 59 milliliters. It comes in a smaller size too, of 15 milliliters. I tend to use the larger one. It spills sometimes in my clinic, so I just went ahead and bought the bigger one. And the most important thing is to make sure you have all the needles in both sides and the tape on both sides before you come to this. This glue is extremely sticky, okay? You're going to open it up and you're going to take a Q-tip. Just put it right in there, take some glue, make sure it's not all leaking all over the place. And just take the tweezer, just take the Q-tip and just gently dab it or roll it right over the tape, just a little bit. And what that does is it keeps the tape on the needle for quite some time, like so. These needles can stay in the body, in the ear, for upwards of 3 weeks. Just make sure the patients are keeping them clean. They can take a shower, they can swim. Usually in the summertime, I have them come in every 2 weeks or so. In the wintertime, I usually let them stay a little longer, 3 weeks or so. And if you see your patients on a regular basis, once a week or even shorter, you can just take a look at them every time they come in and see how they're doing. This protocol works not just well for your patients, but it works well for the patient's spouse who they're sleeping with that night, because one of them is usually going to snore. So I wound up treating usually the other patient that I'm not treating that day for the snoring. And it seems to work really well. It may take a few days for this to kick in, a day to 3 days before they start to notice that their snoring is better. It doesn't treat sleep apnea. That's a medical condition that needs to be addressed, but it does treat the common snoring. It's a great protocol to try on your patients who snore. It's also another good thing you can do to help out your patient's spouse or the person you're sleeping with so they can both get a good night's sleep. So that's basically how you do the snoring protocol. And in the next episode, I'll talk to you how you can treat depression through this technique. The same technique, the same points. I'll explain to you why and how it possibly works. Right now, I'm just working with anecdotal evidence, but so far it looks pretty good. So I hope what we did today explains a little bit more on how to do the snoring protocol. I can't even speak tonight. I need to go eat dinner. And it helps you and your patients in your clinic. And like I said, all the supplies you can get on the web. You can probably find them at Amazon. And I'm going to post on the web where you see this video the places you can get them at. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you use this protocol in your clinic. And thank you.